Hello, I'm Shelley Duvall. 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 Hello, I'm Shelley Duvall.
Good evening. How's everyone doing? This is the first of an exciting series of streams, which will hopefully go on until the Earth explodes in a fiery ball of hell. I don't know. This inside the Avocado. Now, we're starting at 9 o'clock, so that's in half an hour, but I thought I'd do some marbles first to get ourselves warmed up. Hey, Miss Angie, how are you doing? So let's do... Yeah, I know it sounds great fun, doesn't it? I'm all about having fun. So, yeah. I thought, well, let's start off with some marbles first. Just a few games. And then we'll get going with the actual show. You slept until noon. Oh, well, that's nice. What time is it where you are at the moment? I can't work out time zones. I'm not switched on in that way. But yeah. Also, let's turn... I have no idea. 12:30. Oh, okay, so you got up very recently then. This is a very recent awakening. Right. Let's play some marbles. Let me just connect stuff. Please work. Okay. Oh, why do I have to sign into Twitch again? What is going on? Is that my password? We'll soon find out. Yes. I'm one of those people who likes to read stuff out loud, and I have to not do that sometimes. Okay. Are we connected? I don't know. I don't know. So, while marbles is being a pain, I just thought I should show you, to celebrate the fact that it's my first of the Inside the Avocado streams. I thought I'd show you this biscuit I bought. It's an avocado biscuit. Look! It's not made of avocado, it's just in the shape of one. But yeah. Hang on, I might need to... Thank you very much, Ape in the Roof. Let me I might just quit. Hang on, let me try marbles again. Right, let's try and make this work. It might be because I opened it before I was... Oh, thank you for the host, Miss Angie. So yeah, this, just to show this off again, I hope you like my avocado biscuit. So yeah, we're going to be joined by RoyMartini later on. Let me give him a shout out. Oh, there we go. It's now connected. Let me give him a shout out in chat. So we're going to be talking about bad movies. So I'm very excited about this. Please do give RoyMartini a follow if you haven't already. I met him through Twitch Sings, as like I met most people on Twitch. Right, let's see if we can get this old thing working. Right, who's up for a bit of marbles before the talk show? Let's do a race. Let's do a 4-race Grand Prix and see where that takes us to. And yes, we've got enough time for that, I think. We can use votes, but otherwise I might just select some maps that we've done before that we know are good. But if people want to vote, then it's !vote. followed by the number of the race. So we're going to do this for just like under half an hour. And then we're going to be going straight into the talk show at 9 o'clock. So yeah, this is... hey, Mrs. Riddick. Right, I tell you what, just to speed things up, I'm just going to choose some random ones. So let's go with Haunted Hills, because I love that one. You know I love that one. The House of Pain, why not? We can go with Eye of the Storm. And we can go with, let's find maybe like Speedrun 2. Right, so like I say, we're gonna play marbles for a little bit. Oh, let me pause the music. Right, there we go. So if you would like to join a game of marbles, ! Play. I'll give people a bit of time. How's the game volume versus my microphone volume? Hey Kiwi, welcome. Cool, thank you. I think it will be fine when... Hey Libby, welcome everyone. Just in case anyone hasn't seen, look at my celebratory avocado biscuit that I bought for this inaugural Inside the Avocado talk show, which will be starting in approximately 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes. Right, how many people have we got? We've got 5 people in the game. Oops, sorry, that was clicked out. I'm going to save the biscuit until the talk show actually starts. That's what we're going to do. Right, I think for the sake of time, we're going to get started. It's been pretty good, thank you. Yeah, I've done a couple of walks. I've had a nice time. Right, let's get started. We'll do this just to kick us off, and then we'll get ready with the talk show very soon. Right, this is the spookiest of all the maps. Okay, Kiwi. There you are. Let's have a look, Mrs. Riddick. So Spoop has the best time on this one. I think, yeah, Mrs. Riddick's in the lead at the moment. Followed by Miss Angie. Hey Bert, how you doing? We're just doing about half an hour of marbles before the talk show. That's cool. We're going to be talking about bad movies with RoyMartini. I'm very excited. This is the inaugural episode of Inside the Avocado. We're just warming up with a little bit of marbles. Just while we get going. Right. Yeah, so this is going to be a good few hours, good couple of hours. RoyMartini gave me the task of watching a couple of the films, bad films he had in mind, and honestly, I can say it was both the best and worst use of my time. Honestly, could not be happier with the choice of films. You'll find all about that in, yeah, very soon. Don't you worry. Where's Mrs. Riddick gone? Mrs. Riddick, where are you? Oh, you're there. Okay. So yeah, I'm really excited to get Roy on. Oh, where are you going? This is a curveball, quite literally a ball that's followed a different route. So I am now in the lead. Nope, Miss Angie's in the lead. Kiwi's been ejected. Oh no. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, I think we put... Oh no, Miss Angie's being taken away! Goodbye. I know. But so far, Mrs. Riddick, you haven't died. So that's always good. So we're just going to do... I think we've probably got time for just one Grand Prix before. I think this works quite well using marbles as a bit of a, like, an icebreaker. Well, Libby's still in the running. Mrs. Riddick, I don't know where you are. Oh no, you're dying as well. Oh no. This one is brutal. I don't know why I always choose it. I just love the sound. Right, Libby's in the lead. Come on, Libby. The Valheim duo. We have our own little house. And yeah, I think it's a lot harder to die in the house, I'm pretty sure. Oh, here we go. Well, we both crashed into the door frame, so... Oh! I'm now in the lead for some reason, but there we go. Yeah, I do love the eeriness. You know how much I love spooky things. Right, there we go. So, we're going to be talking to RoyMartini about, like, his favourite bad movies. But I'll be also really interested to hear about your bad films. So if you think of some, and we'll absolutely hear from you. I know I'm in the lead. Oh, no, wait. Or is Libby in the lead? No, I'm in the lead, but sort of like... Oh, it's because Libby was closest to the exit. So, if anyone wishes to join the next game... Game's rigged. We will be doing a couple more. Okay. Next map. It's rigged. House of Pain. Just any bad movies ever, really. But Obviously... RoyMartini is the guest, so it will be very much... Let me turn the music back on. So we'll definitely be basing it from... The conversation will be based around that, but obviously I'll be interested to hear your thoughts as well. I've got plenty of bad movies in mind. Oh, thanks for the raid. Hello. We're just doing a little bit of marbles before the exciting talk show. RoyMartini is in the house. Let's give a shout out. I must do regular shout outs. Oh, 10 months! 10 months! Can I just say, so RoyMartini is not just one of my favourite streamers, but one of my favourite human beings on the planet. Because I think without his encouragement, I probably wouldn't have got as into Twitch as I am. Because he was really supportive about my singing, and it means a lot. So I'm really excited that you're my first guest. And I just want to show you a celebratory avocado biscuit that I bought to celebrate the inaugural episode of Inside the Avocado. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play... We've got 3 more rounds of marbles lined up. So if anyone wants to join, !play in the chat. And then as soon as that's finished, in 15 minutes time, we are going to go into Inside the Avocado, or we're just going to go inside the avocado, you know, and we're going to get talking about bad movies, and I am very excited for this. So I've watched some bad films recently on recommendation. I am super excited to hear RoyMartini's thoughts on these terrible, terrible films that I was subjected to. But there we go. Yeah, that's cool. Get yourself set up, get ready to go, and yeah, everybody, if you want to join, then yeah. Well, I'll get started because we don't have a huge amount of time. So let's get started with this. And here we go. Okay. So yeah. I'm really excited. I know quite a few bad films, so I'm... Oh, hang on. Right, let's follow. Okay. So, yeah, how's everyone doing? And thanks again so much for the raid. I really appreciate that. I mean... And if you don't follow RoyMartini, please do. Like, he's such a kind and funny person. I'm really excited about the guests that we've got coming up on the show through the next few weeks. There's some really great people, so it was really great to start with such a fantastic person. And you're in the lead at the moment on this this House of Pain. Great. I'm glad that people follow him. No, I definitely my Twitch career, inverted commas, owes a lot to him. So yeah. And if you're coming over in the raid and you're new to my channel, then hello, I'm Joe. I'm a variety streamer in so many senses. I stream all sorts of things, from a cappella singing to loads of random games. I like to dress up in fancy dress in some of my streams. I like to talk a lot. So yeah, I'm an all-rounder, really. I don't say all-rounder implies I'm good at everything. No, I'm bad at lots of games. That's what I mean by variety. Oh, here's one. Well, that's very fitting. Oh, Mrs. Riddick and me have gone on the aggressive. In we go. Right, let's see how everyone else is faring. Here comes Libby. And we've also got Bert over here. And last but by no means least is the wonderful Kiwi. Yay! Great. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, he's a great streamer. Lovely, lovely person. Right, next map. See how we're doing for time. We've got time. So we're going for Eye of the Storm. It's going to get windy. Oh, thank you, Nath, for the... Is it Nath or Nath? Nath for the follow. Apologies if I've mispronounced that. Right, exclamation mark. Join if you would like to play. I said Nath because I thought it might be short for Nathan, but I'm not sure if that is true, so I could have just assumed that. Thank you, I don't know something 123 for the follow. That's alright, no problem. I don't take follows for granted. Sometimes it's nice, you wanna check out, wait and see. But I really appreciate that. So welcome to my lovely community. Right, so yeah, if anyone wants to join, exclamation mark play. This will be the penultimate round of marbles. We'll be starting the talk show in 10 minutes. I am very excited for this. Yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking because it's my first one. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun. Okay. Right, if anyone else is joining, I'm giving you... Oh, it's short for Nathaniel. Oh, okay, so that means that it could be Nath or Nath. Okay, I see what you mean. Well, hello and welcome. Okay. I'll give you a second if anyone else wants to join the marbles game. This is just a little bit of a warm-up. Marbles is the warm-up act. The real superstar will be on stage in about 10 minutes. That's cool. Thank you so much, Vicky, for being here. Yeah, Vicky's great. Well, I'm really pleased you're here, Vicky, and I hope you're having a good weekend. Unfortunately I wasn't able to catch your fighting fantasy stream yesterday, but I'm going to try and catch as many of them as I can, because I really enjoy them, and hoping to have my turn as a guest at some point. Yes, I have, thank you. Yeah, it's been lovely. Yeah, so we've got so many lovely people in chat today, isn't that wonderful? Right, let's get started. Otherwise, we'll run out of time before. Oh yeah, I'd love to. Well, we'll chat about it at some point this week. About well, let's fix a date for me to come to the forest and begin my adventure. Right, let's get started with this race. Oh well. I'm a multitasker, I don't know, something like I tend to do like multiple things at once, which is not the best example to set, to be fair, because it means my concentration levels are like just 50% for each item. Right, so everyone get thinking of your worst movies as well and why, and don't tell me them just yet, because we'll come to that during the show. Now, I should say this is the very... Oh, hey, Alex, how you doing? Ah, cool, you're playing Frostpunk. I've got the game, and I am going to start playing that soon, I think. It was one of the first games I saw Becca Clark play. That's cool. Well, now this is the first of my talk shows, so the format... It's taken me a little. We might adjust it as we go, but this is the very first one, so you know we'll see how this works, and then hopefully you'll enjoy it. It's really nice for me to have this opportunity to get to know someone in depth about a topic that they're really interested in. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I've got other really great guests lined up for other weeks. So honestly, it's really great for me to be able to do this. Okay, well that's cool. You've got plenty of time. And Alex, I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, just starting off with a little bit of marbles before we go into the talk show. And I'll just show to you all my avocado biscuit once again. I didn't make it, but I bought it as a commemoration of the very first... Oh no, Mrs. Riddick's gone. Very first inside the avocado. Mrs. Riddick's gone. I'm a bit nervous because I'm quite far back, you know. I think it's very windy out here. Oh, Libby's made it. Kiwi's there. Bert's almost in. Oh, me and Nath are spinning around. Are we're just doing a little dance. That's what we're doing. We know how to... Oh, is it quite loud, Becca? Thank you. Let me fix that. I think it's because the... Let me try it. Changing that, actually. Oh! So, thanks for that, Becca. Because I turned it down yesterday and it's turned it right back up. Is that better? Let me know if that's worked. Hopefully. Just gonna fiddle with the settings again. I don't know why, but it just turned it all the way up for some reason, so who knows. Right, let's go on to the next map. Right, this is the final one, and then we're gonna go into the talk show. Tiny bit too quiet now. Okay, right, everyone press !play if you'd like to join. Okay. There's let's give this a go. How about now? Is that better? I've turned it up by like a notch. Not by much, but by a little bit. Okay, cool. We'll work with that. We'll have to test the sound when we've got both me and RoyMartini on a call. So, right, yeah. If anyone else wants to join !play for the final marbles round before we begin the talk show. So yeah, right. Let's get going. I'm gonna start now. Otherwise, we will run out of time. that's fine. We can play with extra minutes, no worries. No problem at all. Right, let's have a look and see what's going on here. I love how like people get really into marbles, myself included. When you know, like we have no control over the marbles, right? Keep you alive in marbles. I have no control over that, Alex. I'm sorry. It's beyond my power. How did Mrs. Riddick, how the hell did you get all the way over here so quickly? You have special powers. What is that course over there? I never understand what that is. It seems to show up for me sometime. I can't promise to keep you alive. In fact, at the moment, you are in last place. I am sorry. I have done nothing to induce that. That is just a thing that has happened. Mrs. Riddick is hacking. Yeah. Classic. I won't tell Tony, don't worry. Tony doesn't have to know. Right, let's have a look. What's going up at this end? Oh. So we've got... there's lots of different routes. You have no influence and yet all games are rigged. Yeah, it's Schrodinger's marbles. Oh, this could be interesting. Oh no, this isn't the one that moves. This is just the static one, I think. Right. Bum, ba, bum. And I am last. What am I doing? Look, I'm just having the time of my life spinning around here. Am I ever gonna make it? I feel like I've just found the perfect equilibrium where I can just spin forever without... Oh, no, here we go. Yay. Yes, you didn't die. Well, Mrs. Riddick won. I think... Let's have a look. See who won the Grand Prix. Okay. So, I came third, somehow. By some miracle. Mrs. Riddick, you came second. Libby won. Libby is the winner of the Grand Prix. So... Right, let me just have a little look. Let me... Yay! Right, well, I tell you what. I'm just going to wait for the cue from... Yeah, I don't get how it works either. What we'll do is we'll do just like one race at a time, maybe. Until RoyMartini is ready to go. I'm just gonna, yeah, might as well wait for his cue. I am very good at filling time. It's one of my specialities. Is okay, two more. Well, let's do two maps then. Tell you what, do you want to vote? Let's see which ones you vote for, and we'll just pick whichever the first two come up. Then we'll get started. Okay, cool. Is it audio issues with Discord itself, or is it with I tell you what, I'm gonna pick them. Let's go with Temple of Steve and cool. Okay, Pixels, Porter Alley, Mike and Mac. Okay, cool. We're not quite there yet. Right, let's go. Becca, it'll be exclamation mark play in a moment. Right, there we go. Temple of Steve. Oh, sorry, Becca, I didn't realise. Okay. I did join, didn't I? Okay, cool. Right, so yeah, if anyone wants to join, then marbles is my favourite stalling tactic. Ooh. I'm getting through this cup of tea very quickly. Right. Let's get going then. As I said, I'm going to give you... Let's give you 10 seconds to choose. Starting now. Right, start. Who will be victorious? It's very true, it is, isn't it? Because it's just, it's no real effort really. Oh, the order is changing. Becca is zooming. Look at you go. But who will make it first? Becca's got the special pink VIP colour there. Look at Becca go. Right, let's see. So Kiwi is hot on Becca's heels. We've got... Oh, it's changing fast. Got Libby. I'm there. Me there? I cannot speak in sentences at this point. And we have got Nath there. Becca's been overtaken. It's all to play for at this point. Or is it? Becca is once again in the lead. Or is she? Who knows? I am finding this very hard to follow at this point. I would not be a good sports commentator. But, you know, I do what I can. Bert's just spinning round there. Oh, okay, no, you've moved on. You've moved on. Oh, I think Becca is going to win, actually. Yeah, Becca's in the lead. Here we go. Followed by the ghost of Checkout, who has won this before. Holy shit. Oh, Spoop. Oh my god, Spoop. No. Oh no. There we go. Right, Becca's won. I forgot that sound alert is still on. Yeah. How are you doing, Spoop? Yay, Becca won, and then Nath's in. Let's see who's going to be next. Mrs. Riddick is third. Oh, Kiwi's gone. No, poor Kiwi. Bert's in. Oh no, Libby's gone. Oh no. Oh, this is because it's the moving one. Oh, I think am I gone? Oh, it's moving fast. No! Miss Angie died and I died. We're all dying. But Becca won. Okay, so Becca's the winner. Right, let's move on to the next map. Right. Join. Okay. So this might be our last marble game. Hopefully, we'll see how RoyMartini's getting on with his tech issues, but that's all right. It's not live television if you don't have tech issues, and this is not live television. This is just This is just my Twitch channel. Right. It's part of the magic of it all. Oh wow, we've got 11 people in the marbles game now. Actually, while we're just here, what I'm going to do is I am going to... Everything's a drum! Everything's a drum. Oh, that's one of my favourite sound alerts. That actually kind of scared me. Thanks, Spoop, for that. What was I doing? Okay, I've got my info up there. No, that's not what I wanted to open. There we go. Right, okay, let's get going with this. It's Pixel's Portal Alley. Yes, it is Twitch TV, that's true. So it is TV in one form or another. So if anyone's just tuning in, we're running slightly behind, just due to a couple of tech issues, but it's nothing that a bit of elbow grease can't fix. I don't actually know how elbow grease would be, literal elbow grease would be helpful in this situation. Malcolm is storming ahead. Oh, but he's been overtaken. It was a short-lived... Oh no, Becca! F in chat for Becca and pretty much everyone else. Like, literally half of all of us. Yeah, that was... Oh no, Malcolm's gone. Okay, there's only like 5 people left now. A lot of people died. Libby is ahead by virtue of just being really cautious. Thanks, Spoop. Oh no, Spoop's gone. Okay, RoyMartini again. Just slowly. Right. This one is very difficult actually. It's down to a very small group of... Right, who's gonna survive? Bert's still going. Come on, Bert, you can do it. Who's in the lead? Oh my god, these little crunchy little cubes. Oh, Bert, did you make it? Oh, you're just waiting. That would be pretty bad if you got overtaken at this point. Right. Well, Bert's won. We've got a little traffic jam here. Where's Mrs. Riddick? Oh. No! Oh no! Okay, so that was a high casualty round. That was it was quite dramatic actually. Well, Bert won. Let's see what that does to the final scores. Who won the... I don't really understand how the Grand Prix scoring works. Yes, you left in style. How's your mic issues going? Becca was second, and Bert won. So I think it would have been quite close because Becca won the first round and Bert won the second. So yeah, so there we have it. Right, let's just see where we are up to. Bom, bom, bom. Right. Let me just check in. Do we need to do another marbles round, or are we getting close to being able to get going? Let's just check in. Let me just find out. Right, let's do Let's do another one just to kind of the Gauntlet 2. Let's do that one. Just to kind of keep us going. Oh, no. He's in... Are you in voice chat? Okay, well, let's switch over then. Let's switch over. We might as well switch over. Let's change the category, talk shows and podcasts. And let's flip my... Let's put it on this for now. Right. Okay, I'm going to turn the music down to a bit of a lower level whilst we just get switched over. There we are. Okay. Right, I'm going to join the voice chat with... Hello.
Hello, Joe.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I am good, thank you. I'm just going to see... Do you mind turning your webcam on just so I can see...
Yeah, let me go ahead and do that.
Oh, I think I've got it. I think I've got it to work. This is thanks to the masterful graphic design of Becca Clark that we are able to... That I am able to do stuff
awesome.
like this. Becca is very
Clark.
clever. Let me just...
She strikes me as someone who would be into bad movies.
Yeah, Becca has shown me a fair few bad movies. I think, Becca, you'll remember that time when we watched the Bratz movie when they went to Paris, or maybe the weird 1970s adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, a Japanese... It was, yeah, there's lots.
Oh my god!
Right, let's switch over. Let's see if this works.
That sounds incredible.
Okay.
This is already like I can feel it in my soul. This is gonna be a good.
Okay, right. So you should
coming
now.
At me, and you're opening up another portal in my mind to different types of bad movies.
Okay, so you're now on screen with me. So there we go. Let's see. So people in chat, can you tell me what the audio sounds like? Tell me, like, what's the balance like between me and my wonderful guest, RoyMartini? Oh, I drank that tea very fast. Right.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should probably talk if you're going to be asking people what the balance level is like.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, if anyone in chat would like to...
Yeah.
Music could be quieter. Okay, I will turn down the music... I said I turn...
No authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all.
Thanks, Spook, for the sound alert. You have no authority, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all. How's that, Bert? Is that a bit better for music balance? I can probably turn it down even a little bit more, maybe. There we go. I think that's about as low as I can get it without actually muting it. Right, so today is the
I can also turn my microphone up as well. I'm so sorry.
So Libby says Roy's bid puts Dan's to shame. He needs to up his game. So Dan's Libby's boyfriend. So
it's not my intention.
Do you still do Weird Beard Wednesdays? Do you still do Weird Beard?
No, I don't stream on Wednesdays anymore, unfortunately.
Can you think of another day of the week that you could maybe incorporate your beard into, like Fun Beard Fridays? Or
yes!
Sexy Beard Saturdays. You know, there's a whole
We could definitely do Fun Beard
of,
Friday.
Yeah, there's a whole range of...
We could definitely do that.
Whole range of things we can do. So...
That's so funny.
Let's see, is it gonna... Yeah, it's still... What I'm just checking is... that it's not freezing your face when I'm not looking at Discord. Okay, that's good. Because that happened to Becca when we tested this out the first time. And it was, it's not very flattering when your face freezes in the middle of a sentence.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
Not very flattering.
Here, let me put my microphone. There we go. more in line with the direction I'm speaking towards.
I'm gonna just crop you as well so that we don't get the little
crop it.
Little like green line around you
whenever I'm speaking.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. There we are. So professional. Such a pro streamer. Such a pro streamer.
I love this. And now you'll have this set like as a default for next time.
Oh my god, Spoop. Another sound alert. Spoop's really going. Okay, so speaking of terrible movies, yeah, that was from Nicolas Cage in his rendition, the Wicker Man. Yeah, there we go. Yep. So
I didn't even hear it. I just saw the name.
Saw it. So, welcome.
That movie is very bad.
Oh, it's horrendous. So, welcome everyone to the inaugural edition of, I like saying the word inaugural, edition of Inside the Avocado, which is where I get to talk to someone, like maybe that I know through Twitch, or maybe not, about something that they're passionate about, interested in. This is the very first edition, so I have no doubt that we will have teething issues from time to time, but we'll see how we go. So the theme today, picked by my guest, the wonderful RoyMartini, who is a self-described streamer, comedian, and actor from New York. Is that right?
I'm based in New York.
You're based
originally
in New York.
From Tennessee, but yeah.
Originally from Tennessee. Oh well, that's you got it. There's a whole journey there then.
There is an entire
There's
journey.
a whole journey. Someone I came to know through Twitch Sings. I am very happy to have you as my very first guest. Thank you for the bits, Spoop. My God, you're so generous today. So I'm really excited to talk about bad movies. So I guess my opening question is then, what do you define as a bad movie? Because that, for me, has been a tricky one.
Oh. This is the essence of the question, correct? Because it is technically subjective, but I think that there are certain movies that people can like all find objectively bad, and that's fascinating to me. And I think sort of my qualification for a bad movie, as I like to refer to one as let's, if I'm gonna say to you, let's watch a bad movie, that's gonna be in all caps, like for me, because that's what it is. It's a all caps bad movie. Everything about the movie is baffling. The acting is out of nowhere. The production value, design, all that stuff, just every possible mistake they could have made, they made it, and they still continued on with the project. And I think those are the movies that I qualify as the capital letters bad movies. So that pretty much that. Just any movie that when you watch it, you're just like, at what point did they think this was a good idea?
Because I suppose one of the ways that I've looked at it is like the thing about a bad movie is that a bad movie can be good because it can be a movie that you love to hate. And I was thinking about this because we'll talk about a bit more about the movies that you suggested that I watch in a bit. But when I was watching them, I was thinking, damn, I really know how bad these movies are, and yet I enjoy them so much. So are they really bad movies? Thank you, Baby Yoda likes Mike Hunt, for the follow. That's a great name. But yeah, so like it's a tricky one because I love watching bad movies. So are they bad? Have we entered some kind of paradox here? Maybe.
Right, exactly. Well, I think you can definitely talk about the quality of a movie being bad while also acknowledging that you get your own form of enjoyment out of that. And for me, the enjoyment derives from just the disconnect between what good and like logical storytelling is and whatever is presented on screen. And then all just thinking deeper, because I'm someone who like is into like really into like movies and like the production of movies, and like I've been on sets before, and like I've been in like theater and stuff, so I know how much work goes into putting on a production. And just part of me is just like gets just like tickled that and also has some sort of immense respect for the people who make these movies, that they follow through with every single insane decision that they make, and parsing out while watching the movie what they could have been thinking while making it is half the fun. And I think knowing the filmmaker also makes it a lot more fun as well.
And
So it's like it's a journey. When you get into liking bad movies the way that I like bad movies, it becomes a real like hobby almost.
Vicky says, GTG Vicky says hello, and also Bert
Vicky!
says Star Trek 1. Yeah, you see, a lot of the Star Trek movies are pretty terrible, but I love them. Like,
there's
it's a really
lot of
great
love
example.
for them,
Yeah. I know you went to make hot chocolate. Oh, that sounds lovely. Oh God, I really want hot chocolate now.
That sounds delicious.
How is Opal? I saw Opal appear in the background.
He's actually climbing up right now.
Oh.
Onto my desk, so I can't really like. I'll pick him up. There he goes.
Oh,
He's
okay.
on my shoulders.
Well, there we go.
Ouch,
Cats
ouch.
are excellent for streaming, especially if you don't have to suffer the pain of the cat digging its claws into you. But yeah, no, I love Opal. Yeah, no.
He's a sweetie and a brat. And then over here we actually have Odie.
Oh, hello.
The dachshund.
Hello. Is it Odie? Did you say?
Yeah, Odysseus.
Ah, Odysseus.
It's Odie for short.
Lovely. Well, you've got your own guest stars there. You're backing singers in the room with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're the house band.
Yeah, they'll just sort of introduce you. That's all right. Thanks so much, Vicky. I hope you're enjoying playing Frostpunk. What was I going to say about movies? So. Well, I guess the other thing is, you were talking about the production, and I think obviously knowing a bit about the production of films, I think that must inform the way that you watch films. But that's what I found also massively divides whether people like to watch bad movies. And some of my friends, they will not watch bad films because they're so embedded within the production, it actually pains them to watch it, and they feel bad. And I guess one of the things I always say to them is, I'm not hating these films with genuine hatred. It's with love. Like, I appreciate that work went into this, but at the same time, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it in the way that I'm watching, I don't know, like Stanley Kubrick's Barry Lyndon, or like, the Favourite, or I'm watching this with the vein of I am having a ball of this thing that's supposed to be dramatic and it's anything but. So, like,
yes.
What do you think about people who maybe
or funny, but anything but when comedy fails, it's almost worse. Like it's almost less fun to watch, but more.
Yeah. But so, what about like? Because what would you say to sort of people who maybe? Because I have had occasionally some people say, oh, well, you shouldn't laugh at bad films because a lot of work goes into them. What do you think about that perspective?
I think that's an interesting perspective that I can see an argument for. For me, it definitely always comes from a place of love, and with the streaming services and stuff now, whenever I watch it, I think people who are involved get, I don't know how well that works, but like they're getting paid.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
So in the end, it doesn't matter how I'm consuming it. I'm still appreciating it in some way, even if I'm appreciating it for the reasons that the person who created it didn't initially intend it to be appreciated for.
Yeah, that's very true. And you mentioned streaming services. I mean, Netflix in particular, I think makes a point of churning out these films deliberately now. And that is another thing is, they're doing it. I don't know whether they're doing it. I think there's a certain an awareness, a self-awareness of the irony of it, but they churn out deliberate B movies. Oh, thanks, Mrs. Riddick, for the alert.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many fantastically bad films on Netflix. Yeah.
And this is my issue with films that that try to be bad films, is when you wear that on when you're trying to be a bad movie, you can smell it. It's so sweaty. You know what I mean? Like you can taste the perspiration watching the film. And like it's like, oh God, we get it. You want to make a bad movie, quote unquote. Like films like the later Sharknado movies. Like the first Sharknado movie is just them trying to make a crazy Sharknado movie.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they really lean super heavily into being like, oh, everyone thought the first one was funny. Let's say this is funny. So that I think brings me to the quintessential bad movie. is The Room, which is the one that people have like probably heard about. Even if they haven't seen the movie, they've probably heard about the disaster
In
artist,
chat,
the
let us
movie
know if
about
you've
the-
seen The Room. Let us know if you've seen The Room.
Yeah,
In-
it's one of the, or
Tell us you've seen
Yeah,
The Room without telling us you've seen The
telling
Room.
us you've seen The Room.
Yeah. That's why I'd be interested to see what quotes or what things you apply to tell us that you have seen The Room, because there's a big fan base out there. There is a big fan base for that film.
Yeah. I love the Sharknado movies. Yeah, I mean, there is some amount of enjoyment to be gained from movies like that. But for me specifically, and once again, I want to state right at the very, very top, bad doesn't necessarily mean no worth. So if I call a movie bad, I'm not like shitting on it. I'm just applying a label to it that is like shorthand for how I watch the movie. Because you have to I watch them in a certain way when I'm watching like a bad movie.
Yeah, it doesn't fit into the genre that it was intended to be put into, is kind of how I tend to characterize it. Like, a film that's intended to be dramatic and is now instead funny, that is
right, exactly,
probably going to fit into the bad movie category.
Right, exactly. 100%.
Kiwis asked, how would you categorize the Hallmark Christmas movies? Now, I would put them in this category as well, because I love watching them. Me
too!
I love them so much. We'll probably have to talk about them in a bit more later, because I think that for me, me and my mum have watched them every year for such a long time, and I just love the horrendous... Saturday Night Live did a fantastic... They regularly actually do parodies of Hallmark movies, and honestly, they're just amazing.
Insane. Every single one feels like a parody of a Hallmark movie, which is like they've developed this formula for it that is just so perfect.
And the same fucking gazebo every single time. It's always the gazebo.
Have you seen A Puppy for Christmas?
No. Oh.
It's one about a woman who gets a puppy for Christmas and her rich boyfriend kicks her out of the house.
Does she fall in love with someone who is wearing a checked shirt and...
100%. And he loves puppies.
Oh, he loves puppies. He loves puppies, or he owns a Christmas tree farm, or, you know, he was friends with her grandma who used to run the cake shop, and she, you know, but she's busy. And she,
the man who made peppermint sticks.
And she lives in pre 9/11 stock footage of New York, and she's too busy. She doesn't need a man. She just needs to impress her boss. She wants the big promotion to be deputy vice president executive of the, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. I could go.
Jack Lumberjack. No, it's so good. You nailed it. Like you
Lifetime movies are a whole other. But so before we end up talking,
they can be definitely enjoyed.
Before we talk about every bad movie under the sun, I think we'll start off by just focusing on the two films that you asked me to watch, because I actually really do think people should watch them because they are amazing, and also because they are available.
Actually, before we delve into that, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Oh yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay. When was the first time you remember watching a movie and realizing it wasn't good? Because as a kid, we watched so many movies, and I watched them again and been like, "This is bad." But like as a kid, I remember being like, "This is incredible," because every movie you watch is insane and amazing because you don't know what good things are yet. So
that's a really good point. So I used to watch a lot of stuff with my mum, and especially during the summer holidays, while my mum was ironing, we'd watch these. So basically, there's a channel in the UK, like before digital channels like cable was available widely. Channel 5 was like the best kind of channel for these kind of daytime films, and they tended to broadcast a lot of Lifetime movies amongst other things, and as well as really bad disaster films. I don't remember the specific one, but there was just a period of time where we watched through so many. I mean, one of the ones that really sticks out in my mind was this disaster film, and I can't remember what it's called now. But it was the premise. Describe
it. Let's see if we can find it.
Okay, so the premise is the moon is splitting in half, right? So already we're on shaky ground here, and The moon is shaking half and it's causing hurricanes. And the first thing they think to do is, what we need here, you get a crack team of scientists together and they go, you know who we need? A demolition man from Baltimore. Because that, obviously, will solve all our problems. Cut to a busy control room with see-through whiteboards with with all the classic like equations just written, so you can see them writing. White coat, woman in pencil skirt typing really fast. A chief of police that goes, "We don't have the time. We don't have the time." Cynical mayor / president / vice president who's going, no, it's all about the economy. And then with no space training, the demolition man it might be Earthstorm. Demolition Man gets into spaceship with no training. The nuclear weapons they're going to detonate on the moon don't work, so he fashions something out of bits of wire he finds in a cupboard. I don't know. And then that saves the day. And then the best bit is that the end of it is just full of these one-liners that just like, in like CSI, it's like it ends with well, I guess you could say lower sunglasses.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm describing a lot of films apparently, but basically my favorite is like, because he's leaving. Suddenly he's going out with the woman in the pencil skirt, and and he's going. She's saying, "You need a holiday." Excuse my terrible accent here, and he goes, and she goes, "How about the Caribbean?" And he goes, "Well, it is hurricane season." And you think, oh, that must be the end. No, and he goes, then she carries on. She goes, "How about space? They say it's the final frontier." And he goes, "I've already been." And they just kiss. And then it's like... But you can see how much of an impact that film has had on me, that I remember it after this many years.
That's incredible.
It's
that's amazing.
So shit. But I've watched...
You saw it in theaters?
No, I saw it on the telly, but
okay.
Yeah. I would never pay to see
so it's
these
gonna be,
films.
What year do you think?
I don't know, but I probably have seen bad films before then. It's just that the plot of that one sticks out in my mind because a lot of the other ones merge together to form a single bad film, which is just
right.
Divorcee moves to rural village. Or like small town with two daughters, one of whom is psychic, falls in love with nearby lumberjack, neighbour is creepy and is painting pictures of dead people who turns out they're the ones they're murdered. And, there's like a coffee shop or something that apparently she's the favourite. I don't know. This is where my Sims 4 series of characters came from. Mary Lou Beth Jojo, or, and the little daughters like Luann and, I don't know. So... yeah, that's my introduction to bad films.
Okay.
So
that's incredible. I remember specifically the first movie that I saw in a theater that I was like, this isn't good. And had a good laugh about it afterwards with my parents. It was called Stealth.
Mm-hmm.
It was it starred Jessica Biel.
Oh yeah.
Jamie Foxx, and I cannot remember the male actor, but they're like a team of fighter pilots, and they get paired up with this super secret top special. I haven't seen this movie since it came out, by the way. Top special. It's that bad, actually. It's so bad that I don't think I would enjoy watching it again. This special like AI driven spy plane, and guess what happens? The spy plane gets a conscience.
Oh no.
And it goes rogue.
I would never have guessed that.
Josh Lucas, I think that's correct. And it's bad. And Jamie Foxx was the only good part about it, and he died. He's the first one to die, like 30 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, classic spy plane behavior, develops a consciousness. I think the question I have then is is there like a sequel where the spy plane considers dating and maybe considers starting a life for itself,
I think that's the direction they wanted to go with it, but unfortunately
Spy Plane 2 high school reunion, Spy Plane 3 Spy Plane Forever After.
Spy Plane would have been a better name for it than Stealth, which is what it was called. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was
what
called
a stupid name, Stealth, and it's about stealth fighter jets. Oh my god, I can't remember what year that came out, but that one was such a
we
piece
can
of
find
crap.
this out. Let me have a look. Stealth film,
Yes, that's
2005.
2005. That's what I was gonna guess. I'm a connoisseur of
Mm.
context, so I love having a little bit of a grip. So I would have been 13. Wow. That's definitely like a good age to start like
That
being
was
like,
the real
maybe
height.
that wasn't good.
That was the real height of like, you know, suspicion about like government technology and stuff, like that period.
Yes.
Like early to mid 2000s. So there were a lot of films around that time that were kind of in that vein.
Yeah, and like the idea of spy planes were like stealth planes like that were like new to the public at the very least.
Whereas now people get their things delivered by them, and it's just like,
Yeah. Well, luckily these don't have a personality and a conscience.
Yet.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Jeff Bezos, he's on to it. He's gonna. But we know my opinions on Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
So sort of so I guess I want to talk a little bit about the two films that you introduced me to, if that's all right, because I think that they.
Yeah, please.
So when I say I want to talk, I actually want you to talk about them because I am really
Do
interested.
you want to talk about them one by one?
Let's do them one by one because
I
I think they're very They're very different films. They're very different audiences, but they were both.
And they're very different types of bad as well.
Oh yeah, and I enjoyed them in different ways as well. So the first film that I watched was Wishmaster. Now, has anyone in chat seen Wishmaster? It was okay. So do you want to just give like a little synopsis, maybe without giving away like the ending and stuff? Tell us a little bit about.
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
Spoop has seen Wishmaster.
Absolutely.
Spoop has seen Wishmaster. Okay.
All right. So the Wishmaster, it is the tale of an ancient jinn, which is an evil, malignant spirit that takes 3 wishes from the person who awakens it, grants these wishes in twisted ways, and then by granting these wishes takes souls and is able to power themselves to control our world. So the film follows this gem that is stored in this ancient statue that breaks, and is the gem is stolen, and they're sent it to be appraised, and she is the first the lead female actress. I cannot remember her name. She was the first to touch the gem basically and blow on it and rub it, even though so many other people touched it and probably rubbed it. But I guess blowing on it was the thing you had to do.
I guess that. We won't go into the implications of that, but
no, absolutely no, we're not touching it.
It's Tammy Lauren was the Tammy Lauren Vasquez.
Wait, that's her name?
Tammy Lauren is the main actor, but her actual name is.
Oh my god, it's not Tommy though.
No,
it's not that girl.
No, I don't think so. It was Alexandra was the main character. Was her name, wasn't it?
Yes. Wes Craven actually did not direct it. The first one was it was produced by Wes Craven. The director of the film, and this is one reason that I find it so fascinating. The director of the film, it's his first directing job, and he is the head of a special effects house, which explains why there is so much in this movie that is practical special effects. Like, this whole movie is literally an effects reel for this guy, and he put the story around it. Like,
it's like, just one after another. It's just constant special effects from that. Like,
it's especially the first segment. So okay, now that we have the so basically she wakes up the djinn, and then he goes on a rampage collecting souls, and he's trying to get her to grant wishes and stuff like that. And he has a very weird set of rules that kind of like bend and sway with the wind. Yes, absolutely. And that's another great thing about it is it's man, there's so many good things about this movie that I want to talk about that are related to the history of horror films and slasher films. And
of course, Robert Englund in it. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Yeah.
And Kane Hodder and Tony Todd, the original Jason and Leatherface. And there's other people in it too. A lot of like horror icons are just like helping out in it, and probably because the guy who made it is such an industry guy, which I think is so fascinating. Like, he's done special effects on so many films, and he's like, "This is gonna be my first movie." It's so wild. It's just crazy. So basically, let's start at the beginning. It's like Babylon, right? It's some ancient Arabic religion or region, and the of course classic like 90s early 2000s trope, just being like it's where it doesn't really matter where it is. It's brown people. It's not people
it really does just employ the generic ancient Middle East appearance. It doesn't really give you anything like more than that. It's like, this could be Egypt, it could be Saudi Arabia, it could be you decide. And that way, without being specific, we don't offend anyone, except you've now offended a lot of people in the same time.
You grouped everybody into one thing. But it starts off with this pandemonium at this castle. And you're just like getting this one guy, this advisor to the ruler, walking through, and he's seeing all these terrors released upon the world. Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you for the host. Thanks so much.
It says, the guy says, the Wishmaster, he says, "Would you like to see wonders?"
Oh,
and then the ruler says, yes. And then he makes all this crazy shit happen. Like, that's the twist, the ironic twist to the wish he granted, was like, you want to see wonders? Yeah, wonders beyond my wildest dreams. Then here you go. This guy's literal skeleton is gonna bust out of his body and attack somebody. This person's gonna be turning into a lizard.
These are literal wishes. It takes everything. Like, he takes everything. Like, it's basically, the lesson is just, Spook's right. Be careful what you wish for. You need to be specific about what you wish for. If you're not really specific,
incredibly specific. And the guy who plays the Wishmaster does an incredible voice job. His performance, and honestly, after multiple viewings, I believe the lead woman is actually doing a really incredible job, and maybe the most realistic portrayal of sheer terror ever portrayed on film. But it makes you so uncomfortable whenever she's screaming, because she's doing it so well. Like, she's veins are popping. There's so much to talk about. But the Wishmaster himself is this like weird, like, he looks like a fucking Power Rangers like bad guy. Like, he's like in a weird rubbery prosthetic suit with all these tentacles and all these like bumps and stuff all over his body.
It's a bit of a Ball Queen vibe about him as well. Like, I kind of think I just want to plug him in and like put him in charge of a collective at various points.
But he is about to. The advisor gets to the ruler right before he grants the wish to like take it all away. He's gonna be like, do you wish me to take everything away? And he's about to answer, and then the guy's like, no, don't. And then they summon all these spirits that put him into a gem, and they load him away in this statue. And then we cut to present day. That's when the statue is dropped on top of Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother, who plays, who's like a director of Evil Dead and the original Spider-Man trilogy, a bunch of really great movies. Yes, there's so many awesome kills in these movies too, though. Like, all the kills are so over the top and ridiculous. Like, he's going out of his mind with the special effects.
So I'd really like people to go and watch this one. So I think
it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's like really good. It's such an overlooked. Like, I think it should be like something. It should be like next to Nightmare on
If you
Elm
don't
Street.
like gore, though, if you don't like gore, this is not for you. Because some of the like I was like, there were moments where I was just like, I can't really fully look at this, and yeah,
it's bad.
So what do you think makes it a what about it makes it a bad movie for you? Like, what qualities does it have? Because the way that you're describing it, like, yeah, it is on Netflix, and that's a great thing about it is it's very easy to watch.
Awesome! I didn't know it's on Netflix. Fuck, I'm gonna go watch it later.
Yeah, that's what I did last night. So what qualities? Because I mean, the way you describe it, I mean, there's a lot about it that I think if you were just to describe it, you'd think actually this sounds like a good movie.
Yes.
But what qualities gives it the title of bad movie in your eyes?
There's a level of ineptitude to the filmmaking that makes it like very weird and stilted a lot of the times. Pretty much every actor in the movie, other than Robert Englund and like all the big like horror faves, are giving these very strange, like either like bland or like cartoonish performances that are all like fascinating. And the writing is pretty bad.
It does. The way it moves along is quite like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you. It doesn't give you a huge amount of build up or suspense.
No,
actually, it really just
nothing
throws
to grab
it at
onto.
you. Yeah. No, absolutely.
What you're waiting for is the next kill, and that's what makes it more fun for me to watch. Is watching it from the perspective of knowing that it was a person who is a special effects like developer was creating this movie, and it shows, and all the special effects are still to this day. Some of like the digital ones don't really translate as well, like the guy getting turned into glass and breaking, and flying towards the screen. In a way that feels like it might have been like a 3D movie originally, but definitely isn't.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I do think though that I think some way special effects have moved on massively, but there are some special effects I watched them today, and I just think it's so obviously. I sometimes don't think CGI is the best replacement for some of these things, because you can often tell with some CGI that can be generated. Whereas the thing about this is there was. And I mean this in both senses of the word, visceral, in that it was both viscera, i.e. bits of viscera, and it was very like tangible, kind of physical. It's not a word, but you know what I mean. Like, but it made me uncomfortable watching it. Like the parts of it, like, that was the amazing thing about it, was that how uncomfortable I felt.
Yeah. Yes, I think that's something that like movies that are seen as like you can qualify as quote unquote bad movies, something that they do well is make you feel uncomfortable, and sometimes the response to that is to laugh. But I think also sometimes they make you question why we watch these kinds of movies. Like, what is it about like the good version of this movie? Like, what the good version of this movie? Why do I want to watch like a really like horrible like deaths? Like, why is that something I like watching? Like, when it's done well, like in movies, you know what I mean? Like, it there's always like a meta level to watching a bad movie. If for me at least, maybe because I engage with these movies so deeply and I watch them so often that I have to find different levels to appreciate them on after different viewings. Yeah, it's just like there's just like other levels to it, and then you stop thinking about it because something ridiculous happens on screen, and you're taken back out of that, and you're like, oh, that's right, this is all just like silly and fun.
Yeah, I think it is. I think even with these bad films, I think it is quite easy to become invested in them though, because I guess it does depend on the way you approach these films. One of the things that's sort of linking onto that. What do you think allows a bad movie to become a cult movie? Because there's a huge overlap between those two categories. I mean, so many bad films have gained cult status. I mean, The Room is a really good example of that. But, I mean, based on, I think Wishmaster's kind of definitely got a following around it because of this, you know, the intensity of the special effects. I've sort of picked that up, and it's not the only one. There's like a whole rash of like, you know, when I remember once. I was thinking about, I think I was talking to friends about bad films, and a lot of them were suggested, and people suggested them like with real enthusiasm. But then there's other bad films I've seen where, you know, you look them up and it's like there's a very small number of people who are even aware they exist. So what do you think makes it, what gives it cult status, do you think?
A certain level of functionality. There has to be something within the film that actually works, or there has to be a certain amount of love on the side of the other side of the camera that you can feel through the film. And that's one thing about Wishmaster, that like you can really feel that they loved making this movie. Every single person had a blast, I'm sure, unless the director was an asshole.
Who knows?
But another thing that I actually really like and respect about this is actually, I'm sorry, that's a tangent. I'll finish it and then we'll get back to what I was saying. But another thing I actually really respect about the Wishmaster is there's like no gratuitous, there's no nudity. Like there's no like, there's no sex. Like there's nothing is like cheesecake shots or anything like that. Like the lead character is treated pretty like, for a horror film, treated pretty well. Like
it doesn't objectify her. It actually it empowers her quite a lot. She's remarkable.
She's a fucking badass in this movie.
She doesn't need help from anyone to fix this as well. Like it's all down to her. She is the one that is in control, and it's all about her, really. She's a great. I mean, like that's a classic horror trope, is the final girl. But in this one, I feel it so hard. That like it's not just like a mistake, that like, I mean, she's the one who's like targeted from the very beginning. Once again, very like slasher movie-esque, but she just like has all this. She's a scientist, and she's the one who's like researching all of this, and she goes to the theater teacher, or the history teacher who's at the theater thing, and she's like, oh, I'm just here to disrupt. She's incredible. She did a great job. Yeah,
she was so good. Oh my god.
Yeah, actually, their scene together, or I think they had a couple of scenes together. That was I think some of my favourite bits of dialogue, in just the interaction and the kind of, but also the way that actor, she changed. I mean, from being herself to being someone else, trying to come off as the same person. Like that's actually quite difficult to do. Is to act a character pretending to be another character you've already played. That's actually quite challenging, actually.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. There's so many great scenes like that where the Wishmaster is like taking the appearance of someone else. And I know what you mean. It's so good when the whoever is. See, now I'm talking about it, I'm like, wait, are there any bad performances in this movie? The more I think about it, I'm like, wait, actually, I think everyone in it is really good.
I think then I think it's like the premise is so good, but in some ways, but the writing does let it down a bit. And I think sometimes, you know,
it lets it down.
Sometimes bad writing can lead to bad acting, although that's interesting because in this one, they seem to have done a pretty good job with. Maybe what makes it a bad movie is that it's so outlandish in some ways that it doesn't fit into the norms of films, and so actually it might not be a bad film at all. I mean, this is the essence of a bad movie: it's so ambiguous a concept.
Here's the thing that the movie does: it goes too hard. With the special effects, it goes way too hard with the gross, and like it just like it's probably very off-putting, and it goes way too hard whenever the girl has like whenever the Wishmaster is taking someone else's soul, she like feels it since she's linked to the Wishmaster, and she like instantly is on the floor screaming like the most blood-curdling scream in the world. And like eyes like bulging and like veins popping, like everyone around her is like, oh my god, what is happening to her? And like every single one of those scenes is so upsetting, and it's like, and it's very effective, but it's like, oh, you went way too hard there.
There's no light and there's no like middle ground. I think with this film, it really goes it goes in very intense and then pulls right back and then goes very intense again.
Yes.
So you don't get the middle ground. So
You have no bearing.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you have no. That's what it is.
I'm gonna have to watch the second one as well, Spook, because I'm really intrigued because I didn't
The
realize.
second one is great.
I'll
Yeah,
have
the
to
second
watch
one
the
is
second
really great.
I'll be interested to watch the third and fourth for comparison as well. Actually, interesting.
Third and fourth, are haven't seen. Okay, yes, the guy who played the Wishmaster changes. And
Well, see, I think that would detract from it in my view. I can see how that might undermine.
So good.
Yeah.
He's so good. One of my absolute favorite scenes is the one with Kane Hodder, the guy who's guarding the jewelry store. And when he walks up and he was like, I can't remember the exact line exchange, but it ends with Kane Hodder saying something along the lines of, "I wish you'd walk away." And
I wish you'd walk. I'd like. He says, I'd like to see. I'd like to see.
Before,
okay.
Yeah. No, but it's
Oh,
before
yeah,
that
okay.
because it's such a funny moment when he's almost beaten him. He goes he goes like, "I wish you'd walk away," and the Wishmaster, like, he's smiling and then like smile turns and then he, like, his body just starts turning. And, like, you can tell he doesn't want to turn. He goes, no, I have to get inside. And the guy goes, that's when he says, "Well, then you'd have to go through me." And that I would love to see. And then he goes, like, turns around and smiles at him and goes, "As you wish." And the guy melds into the glass. It was like, ah. And then, like, as the Wishmaster opens the door, closes it, walks through, and then the glass shatters and flies at the screen.
Oh God. Well, it's just like I think actually that's the other thing is the ways that people die are incredibly varied and
so
imaginative.
creative.
Yeah. So if anyone hasn't seen Wishmaster, I highly recommend it. Just because I want to make sure that we get to talk about the second film and also other films.
How long are we supposed to go for?
I think
I'm like talking as if
a couple of hours is probably, I reckon. I mean, I could talk forever about these things, but for the sake of being concise-ish, concise is not a word I regularly stick to. I thought let's try and cover, because there's we're sort of scratching the surface here with bad movies.
we're pawing at it.
There's
so
a big range. So Spook just said, like, I have all the Hellraisers up till the actor that played Pinhead left, and so not got those films past that. I can see, because when a film is defined by a particular actor, then it makes sense that it might lose some of its charm without that person.
Yes.
So the second film. Yes. So okay. So I will only give my chat the title, and I will leave you to describe it because I have a lot of thoughts about this one.
It's been
Pup
so
Star.
long since I've seen it too. Oh my god.
Pup Star, and you're not Pop Star. Pup Star. Pup Star.
Okay.
Go for it.
So, Pup Star is the story of a world where not only have we learned to give dogs a special treat with a special formula in it that allows them to talk, but some dogs can sing now. And some dogs can rap, we learn.
Oh, God. P. Diggy.
And it turns out that most dogs' accents are cartoonish versions of whatever, like, nationality they kind of represent.
It's
a children's film, and it follows the adventures.
Spoop, you would love this one. You would love this one, Spoop.
It follows the adventures of a little, I don't even know what kind, Yorkie.
Yes.
Tiny. And she goes on Pup Star, and she sings her little heart out, and she goes through, and then she ends up getting lost. I can't even remember how that happens. Gets, like, together with a bunch of dogs in
She
the
chases
town.
a cat. She chases a cat.
She chases a cat.
Yeah.
That's right, because cats can't speak for some reason.
No, cats can't speak in this. This is very biased. It's this is a very canine, you know. It's in terms of like you really
This is a movie for dog lovers.
It is.
Not
it's
even,
uncomfortable
though, 'cause
viewing for people who only like cats. You know.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sure I'm just blowing out the mic with my screaming.
Oh
laughter.
no, not at all.
This
Not
movie-
my end.
Okay, good. This movie is legitimately like terrible on every level, including like if you let your children watch it, like they would have like bad opinions about things. Like this movie's like a bad teacher of things for kids. And I think it's fun to watch it in the form of being like, wait, this is for kids?
Yeah.
And just like every attempt at humor just completely fails. And the one thing I will say is
They made
all the
loads of these
songs-
films, Malcolm. They made loads of pop star films.
They made
There are
loads
too
of
many. It's
Far too many.
It's a joy.
And I've watched them all. Diminishing returns. The first one's the best one.
yeah.
I can tell you that definitively.
Their nanny is my favorite. She
is an incredible actor, and she's actually on a sitcom called The Mick that my fiance and I were watching.
Oh yeah.
She's incredible on that, and she plays a housemaid. But she's like this incredible deconstruction of that character. Like the idea is that this like woman who's a very wealthy person has like her deadbeat sister played by Caitlin Olsen, the blonde lady from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. She's comes over to like her like to try and get some money out of her. And like during that, the FBI come and like arrest her and her husband for like tax fraud. And so she's kind of like just left there with her kids. And so like they're just like kind of left alone with this dirt bag of a person.
And she's the one shred of good acting in this film as well.
She's
like
the one.
Everything else is it's appalling.
Horrendous.
It's so bad. Now, I just want to draw this out. So, tell me a little bit about, because you said the dogs talk. Tell me a little bit about what that looks like on screen.
Ooh.
Because that bothered me in a deep way that I can't ever recover from.
They're obviously like staring at a treat. And they have digitally made their mouths move with like lip movements, like, and stuff. And also, like, it's obvious that the footage is like kind of like played back and forth sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It's the facial equivalent of what was wrong with the film Cats, like the recent it's that kind of uncomfortable anthropomorphic kind of dog or human like
it looks like those Instagram videos where like the filter where like puts your eyes and mouth on a dog.
It's an Instagram filter. It's a Snapchat filter. That's what it is. It's basically the whole film is just a series of Snapchat filters with dogs, and I could make my own version of this just out of Snap Camera. Like I
really could, but you'd need to be a really, really good songwriter, and you'd also need the voice talents of like 10 washed up voice actors.
Heavily auto-tuned in some cases as well. Really.
In some cases.
Yeah. It's
Sweetie! There's my fiance's in here. Chris loves this movie.
I can see why. It's honestly it's a piece of art. Like for me there's just if it's all right, I just want to pick up because this is the one that of the two films you asked me to watch, this is the one that I had the strongest opinion about in both good and bad. So
okay,
just my takeaways from it were like that every talent show has to have a Simon Cowell and that they have to be like a bulldog usually or something like that. That
an English bulldog.
That pugs are the butt of every joke.
Yes.
that country music is good and pure and never causes problems for anyone. That wisdom is only given by someone who sings the blues or jazz and lives in New Orleans because where else would you go? and that, you know, kind of the successful one at the start always has to be bad. Like, basically, like, the successful singer. It's just, like, there was a point where I was forgetting I was watching dogs, and I was just like, these people are really annoying and just hairy. And then I was like, oh, no, they are just dogs. Just dogs. I feel... I'm so happy I watched it. Oh, who was it who voiced the reggae dog? It was Ziggy Marley.
Yeah, it's Ziggy Marley.
Shame on.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird, very weird voice roles in this movie. Oh my god. Yeah, it's insane. So basically, this movie goes out of its way to make every single absolutely insane dog pun that it possibly can. So what I want to play a game with chat. What do you think the name for Simon Cowell as a dog is?
I actually can't remember this one, so
it's exactly what I'm sure it's the easiest thing you can think of.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see people come up with different names now as well.
Yeah, and then there's also a Lady Gaga one.
Oh yeah, there is, isn't there?
There's a Lady Gaga one. There's a Bob Marley one.
Simon L, Simon Chow.
But these are way more.
You're all thinking way too, like, you're too clever for this film.
Waiting too hard. It's Simon
By the way,
Cowell.
this is on Amazon Prime, so if you have a Prime account, you can watch this on there. Yeah, some of the other films are on Netflix, but the first one, the best one, is on Amazon Prime. Yes. # not sponsored.
Yeah. Yep. Whenever we're going to be talking about these movies, we might as well tell you where you can watch them. Yeah,
you need to watch Pup Star. It's just me. So tell us...
It's a must-watch.
So tell us what the name of Simon Cowell's dog alike.
Yeah. It's Simon Growl.
Simon Growl, yes. Oh, God.
And then there was Lady Gaga was Lady Paw Paw.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, put your paws up, I guess, instead of put your claws up. And then there was Dog Marley.
Dog Marley. They couldn't have thought of something, better.
No. And then was the Blake Shelton was Blake Shelty.
Oh God! Now that was kind of funny. I was like, at least there's a type of, at least that's a dog. That's a dog breed, like...
Yeah.
But also, that actually sounded like Blake Shelton as well. Like, I was like, that sounds a little bit like Blake Shelton. It wasn't him.
I'm surprised that they got him.
I don't think it was him. I did look this up, but...
I really wish that I had watched this movie because there was a time that I probably knew most of the words to some of these songs. And could probably sing some of them for you. Like, even the, like, teeny tiny ones... Like the ones that like the dog contestants, you see like a supercut of all their different things they do. Oh my god!
I mean, there's so many elements to this film, and I could probably dissect it for a very long time. But one of the things I wanted to pick out was the way that it pairs the dog with a person. Most dogs seem to be paired up with someone else, like especially the side characters. But one of them, it really played on a really unfortunate racial stereotype about Indians, that the small dog, and I just made me so uncomfortable. This dog with a apparently so South Asian accent, it didn't really specify.
No,
constantly talking about curry and wishing people namaste, and then becoming friends with this apparently tough guy cowboy who turns out to like yoga, and that's like apparently enough. And it was just so weird.
Yeah,
to me, it represents everything, like, about how maybe, certainly as someone who's not American, how we think America sees the rest of the world. Like, a lot of the stereotypes of, like, different places. Like, it was just that was really uncomfortable, that bit. I was just like, stop talking. It's a bit Apu from The Simpsons,
actually. I couldn't imagine watching this movie as a child who was not a white kid. Like, this movie would feel like an insult to everything I know.
Everything that dog said was just a cultural reference. It was there was no dynamic to the personality. It was like
no personality.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you a thing about that dog's personality.
No. It's all of these things that make it well worth watching.
Bad.
Now, my other question is, so there was the sort of famous country singer dog. Now I can't remember that character's name. Who was she based on anyone specifically? Because I was just getting vibes of like, you know, there was a bit of like Reba McEntire coming through there, like Carrie Underwood. It was like, you know, popular, friendly, kind, almost maternal kind of country singer looking out for young budding dog.
Yes. And so the way that we're introduced to all these different dogs is Tiny gets picked up by a dog. What are they called? The
Charlie?
dog guy. What?
Charlie, is it?
A Charlie?
I think so. Yeah. The dog that like, because this dog is like, he's kind of been through a lot. You know, he's seen all, but he's too cool for the music industry, and he wears.
Correct.
And you know this because he wears like an ascot. Like that's what tells you like it's a ragged ascot, and he's a bit woollier than the others and a bit more ragged. So you know he's the rock and roll kind of. And his
edge. Song was stolen. His song was stolen by the last winner of Pup Star. Mm-hmm. And this is another weird thing about Pup Star. Apparently, you can win it multiple times because he's like a 5-time winner of Pup Star, and he just keeps coming back.
Yeah,
so
which
that
you think that means his career's really on the ropes if he has to keep coming back to the talent show. So
right.
But there were
this movie's baffling. I'm so sorry. We're literally talking nonsense to these people right now.
The other thing that really puzzles me, and this is more of like an existential question now that we're getting into here. So in a world where dogs can talk, it doesn't address, like now that dogs can communicate their thoughts and feelings, it doesn't address like who ownership and like emancipation. It really gets in, and this takes the film into quite dodgy territory actually, because it's like, are the dogs still owned? Is this a form of slavery now? Like, what the hell is this? And it's just a kid's film, and I'm like, how dare you drag me into this painful,
so many questions,
painful ethical dilemma that
Yeah, no, and that's another. It's like a children's film shouldn't have you answering those questions for your kids.
No,
I think it's somewhat resolved very clumsily by Tiny always referring to Lou, the little girl, as her human.
My Lou.
So like, yeah, my Lou. She's like my human. I lost my human.
Who they sound like they have the same voice. Are they the same actor? Because it sounds like Tiny and Lou are the same person.
They're not. I looked it up. I had to make sure. But no, they're not. But they sing a song at one point that their mom sang to them at night, and their mom is passed away. Mm-hmm. That is also, oh fuck, never mind. That gets into the next Pup Star. Never mind. I was about to give away plot details for Pup Star 2.
I'll have to watch Pup Star 2 and get back to you. Now, I don't want to dwell on this one for too long, but the other thing that bothers me as well is they talk about how the father's not got much money, but the house they've got is pretty big, and they've got and they've got a nanny. So
like, what are they doing? Like, you can obviously make some downsizing. And not to be crass, but the mom died. So did she not have like life insurance, or like there has to be something there?
Well, see, the thing is, we're approaching a kids' film with questions that children would not be asking, and that's the other thing. I can see how children would really enjoy this, and that's the other thing.
No,
a bad film.
That's the other thing. Yeah, you're right.
Bad films are not bad to everyone who watches them, because if you're not in the target audience, it becomes bad. Having said that, as a child, I would have found this film odd. Really odd, because I think one of the things I say, I think it's incredibly sentimental, and I think that maybe, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but my perception is that a lot of American films, and actually television as well, do employ more of a sentimental approach to like storytelling. You know, I think in the UK and then the rest of Europe, we can be quite brutal sometimes with how we tell stories. Like death and things like that can come at it quite sharply and suddenly we do use sentimentalities, but I just there's often an emotional dramatic climax, especially with the Disney-fied kind of films, like and that for me pulls a film towards the bad category, because because that's not what I necessarily want to see, but that doesn't mean that's bad for everyone, maybe. So yeah.
Right, and it's almost insulting that they're trying to put that in the middle of.
They're trying to force emotion with a key change in a song. Basically, it's like soaring violins, and we're all crying, and the grandma is blowing her nose, and there's doves flying, and and everyone's hugging in slow motion, and it's. So, Pupstar, definitely, if you've got Amazon Prime, go and watch it, because it's great.
Worth a watch.
So, those are the two films you asked me to see. Now, the other... So, there's a couple of other categories of films that I kind of want to talk about, because they are probably two of the most popular brands, and they're often the most parodied. And we've talked about them a little bit, but I think, because we're not that long, it's only a couple of months since Christmas. So, Christmas movies are notorious for being bad. Now, if anyone in chat has some Christmas movies they'd like to recommend, for me, it's never a wrong time of year to watch a bad Christmas film, personally. But what's your thought? What are your thoughts on these sort of? I think it stems from Hallmark originally, but I think Netflix has picked up on this, and other channels as well have started churning them out. What are your thoughts on these?
Well, there's also just classic, just weird studio films that are holiday films.
They're made for TV, really. They're not they're very rare. Most of these aren't released in cinemas.
But you'll get movies like Four Christmases, or with what's her name, Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn, because who doesn't love that pairing? And movies that don't exist, movies that no one ever watches. There's a Matthew Broderick, Danny DeVito warring at Christmas movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it doesn't exist. No one talks about it. It's no one's favorite Christmas movie.
It's the Charlie and the Chocolate. It's the Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory of films. No one goes in and no one comes out.
Right, exactly. And there's a lot of movies like that, but the ones that I think are the most successful and that do fit into this category and are fun to watch, because some bad Christmas studio Christmas movies just feel like horrible, just capitalist ploys. And then there's movies that are just absolutely ridiculous, like a lady gets struck on the head and now she's stuck in a snow globe. Those are the kind of movies I want to see. Those are the Christmas movies I'm into.
There's some brilliant cliches with a lot of these Christmas films as well. Yeah, but absolutely, Netflix had so many of these films. It's like privileged city girl with a well-paid job, goes to the country, often to maybe she's inherited something from a deceased mother or grandmother. And she falls in love with rural guy and save something, but it's often filled with these cliched characters. So an African American best friend who's only, so they speak in proverbs. They don't have more dimension than that. A gay best friend similarly, who just has a first name and is there for fashion montages, or there for encouragement,
stars.
You go girl kind of on the sidelines kind of stuff. But it's all these characters, they're so typecast. And then there's a kind of flirty, cheeky old woman stereotype as well.
It's like Commedia almost. It's Commedia dell'arte. There's all these stock characters that you just plug and play into whatever
stock
story
setting, stock scenes as well. They're all filmed in the same place. They're usually filmed in either Maine or Canada. They often choose British Columbia. Loads of these films are filmed there because it's cheaper, and they can find endless stretches of pine forest that nowhere else has that looks like that with cheap enough rental, with a log cabin as well. You've got to have a log cabin.
Oh my god, yes.
Nice log cabins, not horror movie log cabins. Those are
No, right.
That's usually like somewhere else they find their horror log cabins. But yeah, I mean, but those are a real phenomenon, and I mean, I think they've been around for years. They've been making them for ages, but it's recently they've sort of. Oh, hello, Opal.
Opal, calm down.
Opal's weighing in with an opinion now.
Oh my gosh.
But that's The Holiday. Let's have a look at that one. Spooks just suggested.
Oh, I don't know The Holiday.
The Holiday. It rings a bell. It's 2006 film. Oh, I think you've mentioned this. So this is a comedy film. Oh, okay. So this was. It's got Jude Law, Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, and Jack Black. Now this is a really interesting thing because I think they've moved away from this. This was like a very much an early to like the first decade of this century. There were a lot of films which had quite well-known actors in these kind of bad films, and what I think I've noticed is that they can't get those people that level of people to do it now. So usually it's someone who was on maybe like they might have been on Desperate Housewives or something like that, like an like not a main character. They tend to form the lead roles. They don't tend to get like Kate Winslet to do that kind of film anymore, because a lot of those actors are now in the Oscar bait films. They're hunting for those. They don't want to be involved with the deliberate B movies. They want to be in the I'm gonna have to watch this at some point. Spook. Is this the one where they swap homes and fall in love with people from elsewhere? I don't know actually. Oh yes, that is. So Kate Winslet lives in England and Cameron Diaz is in America, and they decide to swap homes for the holidays to both just get away. Okay, yeah.
And I'm not. This is the thing. You said I don't know if it's a bad Christmas movie. I can't make that. I can't make that claim for you. If you like it and you enjoy watching it, then it's a good movie for you. Like there's no. Don't let somebody tell you that a movie is a bad movie that you enjoy, unless of course you can acknowledge its issues as well.
I refer.
There's plenty of movies that I love that I can understand why someone would think is like not good and not even like fun to watch, and like in that way. But there are some. I think there's movies that like for everyone that for whatever reason we like them despite their faults and despite like not really like knowing how other people feel about them. And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how other people view your own personal things. Like, and that's the dicey territory with talking about stuff like this. I don't want to like once again be like, what you like isn't good. Like that's not what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
And also sometimes they're not liked at the time, and they become liked later on, and the cult following thing is such a big factor. I mean, I'm sort of slightly going on a tangent here, but one of my favourite films, and I recommend watching, is Pride and Prejudice Zombies. It's a great film. Oh. And it's one of the best. Do you know the most startling thing about it? And this is a real tangent from what we were talking about, but it's one of the best portrayals of Jane Austen's characters, much better than, because I've read Pride and Prejudice many times. I've read most of Jane Austen's books, and I really never understood people's desire to turn her characters into these very soppy kind of I need a man type characters, when in fact Jane Austen was incredibly sharp and witty, and she wrote her characters with incredible intelligence, and was in many ways, from a feminist reading of Elizabeth Bennet was actually a very strong and determined character, and didn't just settle for whatever her mother wanted her to. And it's got some fantastic actors in it as well. It's got Matt Smith, who plays Parson Collins. Matt Smith is in Doctor Who, and it's got Lily James, who's a very good actor. She plays Elizabeth Bennet. It's got Sally Phillips, who's a fantastic comedic actor, and she plays Mrs. Bennet. And Charles Dance plays Mr. Bennet. But also somehow the gore of the zombies brings to life the troubles of 18th century England in a way that Keira Knightley, with her polished appearance, can never do, because the 18th century the early 19th century wasn't a nice, pleasant time to live in by our standards. It had violence, it had challenges, not zombies, but it just brings that kind of energy to the characters that I think if Jane Austen was alive today, I don't think she would necessarily be that unhappy about how that's come to light, because it actually really brings the humour out of it as well. Like, there's a line where they're in a carriage going past an orphanage that's succumbed to the zombie virus, and the children are just sort of like zombified but skipping and singing nursery rhymes, and they just casually in the carriage go, "Oh dear, Mrs. Beecham's orphanage has succumbed," and they just all get their guns out ready, and it's just this really or they're putting on their ball gowns for the village dance, and they all put like giant like sort of scimitars and like samurai swords into their like stockings and stuff ready to like it draws quotes from the book perfectly. That one of my favorite quotes is when in the book, so Mr. Darcy, let me see if I can find the original quote actually, because the way they use it. Let's see. Where is it? Let's see. Oh god, I really want to find this, because basically, well, I can't find it, but basically, there's a point in the book where Elizabeth Bennet rushes to see her sister who's sick at Netherfield Park, and she's flushed and she's walked a long way, and so Mr. Darcy's previous sort of negative impression of her is completely transformed by the energy she puts in. So he talks about how, you know, the transformation of the impression of her. But in Pride and Prejudice Zombies, this happens when she slays a load of zombies at the village dance. So she's still red-faced and she's exerted herself, but he's fallen in love with her because he's seen her slice the head off about 20 people in one go. And it's just like, you can't make it up. Yeah. Let's have a look. So, Malcolm, if you've not seen the film but you have the book, that's interesting. And Spoop says, controversial one here, but Ghostbusters 2016, I really liked it. Yes, I really liked it too. It's
a good movie.
This goes into different territory for me. So
this is a different thing. Yeah, this is a completely.
I have a real issue with diehard fans of a franchise, especially like there's a certain type, often sexist. I'm just gonna say it. They don't like things being reinvented. It like Star Trek is riddled with this. So when Next Generation came out, fans of the original series said, no, it's not true. This is not good. When Voyager came out, it said, no, you have to be a fan of, only the Next Generation and the original series were good. When Deep Space Nine came out, and it was the same thing, and they've done it with Discovery, and it really is just like, it's just people not liking stuff to be changed. So yeah, I have a real issue with that. I get if you don't like Ghostbusters 2016 because you don't like the film, but some people just didn't like it because there were women in it, and I was... Yeah, that got under my skin. What did you think? What did you think of?
I said I liked it. I said it was good. It's a good movie. There's issues that I have with it, but they're not issues that are like related to it being women in the lead roles. Like, there's a lot of really funny stuff in it, and I think it's like a fun, really good movie. The first Ghostbusters isn't fucking perfect either. It's not like it's this paragon of filmmaking. Like, it's fine, it's good. Like, there's like, it's not a like
the first Ghost where it had a backstory.
This is my other thing about like talking about like bad movies. People are way too fucking precious about their shit. So like, let's just like watch some stuff that nobody likes and like enjoy it for whatever reason we enjoy it for. Like, so like there's like what you like for the reasons you like it, and don't like shit on somebody else for liking something that you don't like enjoy.
And no film is beyond criticism, but also don't. But I think there's a balance, because I am fine with people criticizing a film, but then don't tell people they can't like it because of. So I get this with Star Trek a lot. Absolutely. I am a big fan of every single series of Star Trek. I love Discovery. I love Picard. There are a load of like supposed Trekkies who go, oh, you can't like Discovery, it's not real Star Trek, the Orville was better. I don't care. I haven't seen the Orville. I like Discovery. I actually like having gay characters. Funnily enough, I like being represented in films and television. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be excluded from the entire of society's visual media. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting into rant mode here. But yeah, that's actually a good point you made about, because, you know, a lot of this, I think no one should ever shit on someone else liking something they enjoy. It doesn't matter whether it's bad or not. It's good to that person in whatever way
if someone is like, if you're writing an essay to like publish and being like, this is what I don't like about this movie, or like you're writing on Twitter, you're like, this is what I don't like about this movie, and that's fine. Don't direct it at somebody and then be like, you're dumb for liking this because like like there's, and if someone doesn't like something that you like, guess what, more of that thing for you. Like there's so many people that probably like it, so like go talk with them about it. You don't have to engage with people. That's the toxic like fan discourse, is people like they feel like have to put up their dukes to anybody that has a contrary opinion about something of theirs.
I think what you're describing in a sense is behavior of people who are part of, like, again, it's where a cult show has transcended beyond cult and into like legend status, and so Star Wars, Star Trek, Ghostbusters, Buffy, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, like all of these things, they carry with them immense weight because people love them, and the fans are devoted in, and there are millions and millions of them. And what I think they need to understand is that it's possible to reinvent a genre, and you might not like that reinvention. It doesn't make you any less of a fan of that thing, but it also doesn't make the fans of the new stuff any less of a fan. When Star Trek reboots happened, a lot of people said, I really love the films, but I've never watched the series. You can still be a fan of Star Trek without seeing all the series. There are people are gatekeepers. There's real gatekeepers where they're like, oh, if you haven't seen this series, then you're not a real fan of. And I don't, you know, if you've seen this film, you're not a real fan. And I don't like that. Like it's very no. Yeah, I know I'm sort of drifting into television as well, but it applies to both film and television, I think, where there's gatekeepers of these. And yeah, I mean, I guess what we've kind of gone with the premise of like a bad movie, but throughout this we've been kind of deconstructing the idea of a bad movie altogether now. Yeah. And what we're left with, that's what I like. Yeah, what we're left with is that there is no such thing, and also there is such thing, like Schrodinger's bad movie.
Absolutely. It's a very hard thing to define. There are some and then there's also movies that and this might be a completely different sort of discussion, but I also messaged you about it, is there's a director I really enjoy named Paul Verhoeven, who is a director from, where is he from originally? I'm so sorry. Paul Verhoeven. He is originally from he's Dutch. Okay. From the Netherlands. And he created the films RoboCop, Total Recall, Basic Instinct, Starship Troopers, Showgirls. Like those are his and Hollow Man. Those are his American films. Mm-hmm. And every single one of those movies, at its face value, like almost every single one of those movies, face value, trash. Like absolute trash. Like just terrible. Just like some of, like specifically Starship Troopers. When you watch it, like you're like, is this legitimately like a Nazi like recruitment video? Like that's what it feels like. It's about people in space shooting bugs, but every single bit of it feels like fascist propaganda. And then you learn about the director, and you learn that he grew up in a Nazi-occupied Netherlands, and he is in fact an incredible person who like is making these movies with a satirical edge. So he is making these movies, these scripts that were written by people who wrote them at face value, and he's created a version of them that satirizes and reveals a lot of things about these specific genres. Like RoboCop is an incredible movie, full stop. Like it is one of my absolute favorite films. It is an emotional movie. It makes me cry. And it also works as a really dumb action movie that you can watch and like crazy, like horrible violence happens. But was written as a movie about a fucking robotic cop. And Paul Verhoeven looked at it and said, I think I can make this movie about the American Jesus. And his idea of the American Jesus is a big walking robot that blows things up. And then he just makes these movies for all this money and puts them out to people, and they don't know how to react. They think these movies are like insane, and they are, but that's like because you don't see it from the perspective he's making them. But he's another, like, he's someone who like makes movies that people see as bad that I will argue are absolute masterpieces of cinema. I guess
that does show, you know, some of it's about how you watch the film. Bert said, I didn't like the RoboCop reboot because for me it took out the essence of RoboCop. It was a movie that only could have worked in the 80s because of the way action movies worked at the time. Also, I just want to pick up a question from my dad, actually, which is there a terrible film that you were still shaken or stirred by? This is a pun on your name, obviously, so we're going with the Martini theme here.
God. See, there's not too many movies that I like rattle me very much. I'm trying to think really hard about this. Okay, actually, I have one.
Okay.
This one is so obscure. I found this on like an illegal like video watching website where I was just like, they had like videos uploaded to it and like movies and stuff. And I was scrolling through like really late one night, and I found this one thing called Cinderella Live. Cinderella spelled S-I-N. And it's a bawdy British comedy stage show telling the story of Cinderella, but it's like very, very sexual. And horrifyingly racist.
Oh, wow. I didn't expect you to tell me about a horrifyingly racist and overtly sexual version of Cinderella. That was not.
That's not where you thought that would go, did you? And there's like this old man in it who's like apparently a British stage legend or something like that, and he plays Cinderella's father, and he's like just like this old drunk dude. It's weird. It's so fucking weird. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start watching this.
Jim Davidson.
I just like,
apparently.
Yes, the guy who wrote and directed it and stars in it. Yeah.
Wait, no, say more. We chat would like more.
So,
I would like more.
It's a musical. There's songs in it. And Jim Davidson. Oh, is he someone who's like known? Because this is something that I had a question about.
It absolutely is.
As an American person, he was like, I saw it and I was like, who is this? And people were like laughing at the jokes.
Oh yeah, so
this
Davidson
guy must be famous.
So Davidson has attracted controversy for his frequent jokes about women, ethnic minorities, homosexuals, and disabled people, but he maintains that he is not prejudiced against these groups. Oh my god. Okay, so he's had. No, I'm not gonna pass judgment on his personal life.
They're fucking hilarious with their fucking disabilities.
Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. My god. His Wikipedia page is a minefield of his jokes are very outdated in the modern era for sure.
I just watched it with terror on my face, like the entire time. I was just like that was me just staring at my screen, and I just finished it, and I was like, I can't be the only person that have seen this. So I showed it to my roommates the next day. Like, I can't be the only person carrying this burden. I think about it to this day, and it was that's a next level one. That's like And it's a live show that's been taped, so like there's only like those are terrible to begin with.
Yeah, yeah. There's so much more room for stuff to go wrong as well.
Yeah.
That reminds me, actually. So this is not a movie, but I'd be really interested to see if they would do this. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the Goes Wrong show, but they have.
Yes.
Yeah. So they started in the UK at Mischief Theatre, and I'd be really interested to see them make a film on that premise, because they are going. They have. So it's really hard when you make something deliberately bad. It can come off as you're just trying to exploit the genre of bad films. But I'd be really interested to see them take the approach, because I mean they're very funny in the way they do it. It's a kind of a weird mix. It's clever slapstick in a kind of way. I'd be really interested to see them.
It's like acrobatics almost, the way they do it. Like it's the timing and the stuff they put themselves through physically. That's where the comedy and the joy comes through them, which I think would be very hard to replicate on film. But that's only because I don't know how they would deal with it. Like they deal with like stage productions and stuff in such a smart way that
and TV show, and they have a TV show. They had a TV show in the UK with like 6 episodes, and again, I think with TV it is easier. Like there've been loads of parodies of bad shows. There's Acorn Antiques is a classic, like Victoria Wood, Celia Imrie, Julie Walters, from the 70s or 80s. It must be probably the 80s actually. But that was, but you know, so there's loads of that. But the bad film parodies, they often have to be a lot shorter, because the endurance you have to have through a whole bad film is very different, especially if it's deliberate. But French and Saunders, I don't know if you've heard of them, but a comedic duo from the UK. They are very good at bad film parodies. They did a parody of Cold Mountain called Cold Turkey. So that was astonishing. But yeah, look up French and Saunders film parodies if you want like bad.
Absolutely.
Like they're snippets. They're not like the whole like film. There's only so much of Jennifer Saunders as trying to do Braveheart that I can handle. But yeah, there's some amazing bad film parodies out there as well.
That's amazing.
So I'm going to throw this to chat again now. If you have any suggestions of bad films, I'd be really interested to hear your suggestions, and also give a little bit of why, and we'll come to those in a minute. Because there are so many, and also if I haven't seen them, then that's the first thing I'm going to do is watch them. And if you want to talk about this more as well, like there is actually there should be in my Discord. We can put on you feel free in my Discord to. I'll put the link to my Discord there. Feel free to put like recommendations of films. You can either put them in. You can put them in. Well, I'll make a section in creative stuff for film suggestions. Yeah, let's put that there. So yeah, there we go. So yeah. Feel free to suggest some films in chat. So the other one I did want to raise, because I think that this is another one which I don't think everyone is aware of, but I think maybe a lot of people are, is Lifetime movies. How have you do you watch
Lifetime movies?
Because they are some of my favorite.
Similar, they are like a different kind of like emotional torture. Like they're so fucking heavy sometimes, but also like because it covers a wide gulf. Like a Lifetime movie can just as easily be about like horrible like domestic abuse, but also like a Lifetime movie could be like a cutesy like romantic comedy. Like there's so many different types of them.
It's a very broad range of them for sure.
It's a very broad range of them. When I tend to steer away from like movies like that as well. Like I don't watch them quite as much. Like same with a Hallmark like Christmas movie. I'll if I have a choice between that and like something like The Wishmaster or something like that, like I'll probably choose something that's more of like a giant swing than a like a safe like you know, like tropey remake, like of like a concept. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I like bad horror films and something like that, is because there's usually huge ideas that either like there wasn't the technology or the money to be able to represent on screen, or like you could just tell that they didn't have the ability to pull them off or something like that. Whereas I find like a bad drama or something like that to be just a little bit less interesting.
So I think that's also another thing. I think so when I would say like watching Wishmaster, that I felt I had to concentrate on that. I couldn't do something else at the same time. Whereas with a Lifetime movie, I can usually have it on in the background and it's that kind of bad film, or like I'm watching it with someone else, because I find that I mean, again, they're full of cliches, but you do get the odd surprise. Like there was one with I don't even know if it was a Lifetime movie, but it was in that sort of territory, and it had Jerry Ryan as in 7 of 9 actor, and she played this mother with 2 daughters. I don't know if you've seen that one, but they moved into this house where all these horrible things were happening, and it was. But the thing is, sometimes they get really good actors, and it's it's kind of. Yeah, it's sometimes they just throw you a surprise. But like, I think I agree with you. I think the reason I watch a lot of Lifetime movies and that kind of stuff is because I have a natural aversion to gore, so I have to psych myself up to watch things like Wishmaster, which was a roller coaster. I didn't expect to see a skeleton being ripped out of someone's body, but I did see it.
Yeah, that was nuts.
It was completely nuts.
It's insanity. It's so well done, and that's it's too much. One thing that Rachel said something in chat. This is my fiance, Lacar.
Hey, Rachel.
When I'm around, he doesn't have a choice. He watches whatever crappy movie I make him watch. We watch a lot of really shitty movies together. It's a lot of fun. And those are the fun of like those kind of movies, like the Lifetime ones and stuff, is you can like sit and like have fun watching them with somebody else as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
I personally love just like paying attention to a movie. Like that's like one of my favorite things, is like giving my full attention and like just trying to like figure it out. And sometimes when I'm watching like a Lifetime movie, it just gets frustrating because I'm just like oh god, like it's just like. It's just hard to
I know what you mean. I guess it depends. I guess that again, it goes back to depends how you watch films. Like I associate watching them with my mum, and like she was ironing, so like I would have nothing to do and she'd have lots to do but want a distraction, and so those films kind of like they form a perfect kind of distraction, and they are so cliched as well. Like I summed them up, and I've been able to sum them up in a series of Sims 4 characters. My favourite is when he ends up actually liking the movie he was shitting on at first. Yeah, see, I'm prone to that as well. At first, I'm like, oh, I hate this. And then by the end, I'm like, that was so beautiful. So emotional. So, yeah.
She'll have stopped watching the movie and we'll go to bed, and I'll just like have finished. I'll just like be finishing watching it.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's very... I think that bad films, again... using the word bad loosely here, they can catch you off guard because of your expectations being set relatively low. Anything beyond anything that's not bad, you're then like, whoa, that affected me. And then you watch it back and you're like, I mean, I don't know. I think my takeaway from this discussion is that I think there is no real thing as a bad movie, in the sense that like all material culture, like all culture, it's you like what you like. The only ones I would qualify as absolutely bad are ones that are just directly offensive. Maybe that would be my like strict definition. If you're being offensive for the sake of being offensive, then it's not even entertaining. It's just uncomfortable. But the ones that we're describing, like I've got enjoyment out of all of them in some way, even if quality has been questionable. I still enjoy them.
And it is 100% one of those. Your results may vary. Like someone might after tonight watch Pup Star and like think it's the worst thing. They like truly have hated it and be like, "Why did you tell me to watch that? I kept waiting for something fun to happen, but it just kept getting worse."
Or you may have a natural aversion to dogs' faces being controlled with some kind of weird special effect. Yeah. That was I will never get that thought out of my head. I'm gonna be dreaming about that for a while. I can't look at dogs in the same way at the moment. I need to look at like videos of dogs behaving normally, because that was a different that disturbed me.
And if you end up watching the sequels, then you get a whole lot more of it too.
I'm gonna watch the sequels because I think there's a limit to how many hours I'm gonna spend watching.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you don't get too invested. The second one's pretty bad. The rest are like not great. Like
because there's bad and entertaining, and then there's just bad and boring, which is like
exactly.
Yeah, no. Well, I'll give them a shot. So it is. We've been nearly going for just shy. Well, it's nearly 11 o'clock here, so we're going to sort of start winding down, but we've still got a little bit of time. So what are your any final thoughts about bad movies? Any like if people if people had like obviously we've suggested 2, but any sort of recommendations or final things you want to convey?
Yeah. I say if you're someone who has enjoyed the sort of discussion that happened here tonight, which I would describe as a loving discussion of films that are not well known and not well made, as to a certain extent, there's a lot of really great podcasts that I would recommend. My favorite of which is one I've been listening to since like 2010, 2011. Called How Did This Get Made? And it's hosted by these 3 actors, Paul Scheer, June Diane Raphael, and Jason Mantzoukas. And so they come at it from like a very similar position where like they know like what happens, like how movies are made. And so they watch a movie and then talk about it for an hour with a guest or something like that. And it's absolutely hilarious. It's one of my favorite podcasts. And then there's another show called Blank Check, which is about it's a more director focused podcast where they take a filmmaker's entire filmography, with the concept being that these directors are people who did work that granted them the ability to make whatever film they wanted, like a quote unquote a blank check, and however those checks clear, and sometimes the checks bounce. And so those are like, all those episodes are like 2 hours long. They're like very in-depth discussions about like all the context around films being made. And it's a lot of great movies discussed. And then sometimes you also get some really insane, terrible movies discussed as well.
Yeah, I think there's a great, Mark Kermode is a great movie critic in the UK. And he if you can find any clips of him talking about films, and his reviews can be hilarious actually. So yeah, sometimes the reviews of films are as funny as the films themselves, because so yeah, that's why I like talking about these things, because sometimes you just come up with like sometimes just people come up with the right words to describe a film, and you just think, yeah, that's absolutely spot on.
There's a lot to be gleaned from other people's perceptions about movies as well. Because sometimes people will, like, I'll be listening to a podcast about a movie that I've seen, and they'll come up with some interpretation of something. Like, I'd never thought of looking at it that way. And that's a lot of fun as well. To like, especially some movies. There's been a couple movies that on the Blank Check podcast that I love, that the 2 hosts are like not a huge fan of, and like they'll talk about the issues with it. And I'll be able to listen and be like, oh, I agree with those points, or I don't agree with some of those points. I still love the movie the same amount as well. So that's a lot of fun, because some podcasts like will challenge your own appreciation for movies that you really like. And I think that's fun too. I think that's a good part of growing in your tastes and stuff.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to throw out to chat now. If anyone's got any more thoughts or any more questions, then or anything you want to say about any your bad film recommendations, or maybe just films that you know other people think are bad, but maybe you enjoy, then feel free to suggest some. I've got a lot of time on my hands, so I am keen to watch more films. And if you don't think of any now, then I have now added film suggestions to the creative stuff section of my Discord. So
nice.
Feel free to join my Discord there. But yeah, so I'd be really interested. Yeah, if you have any bad film recommendations or final thoughts. You really hated the new Wonder Woman film.
I've heard that opinion. I actually haven't watched it, and not to like be the biggest fanboy in the world, but on the Blank Check podcast, they talk about it, and they talk about a lot of the issues with it. A lot of the issues are based upon how good the first one was. Mm-hmm. And that's also what can make a bad movie, is when you have a first one that's so good, and the sequel is almost always like, oh man.
And that's interesting.
How can you have a good sequel?
I wonder what would happen if someone watched that film without, like, Vicky, I'd be interested to know actually. Did you see the first one before it? Because I'm wondering what would happen if someone just watched the sequel and how that would affect their perception.
Right.
Because I've not seen either, you see. So I'm kind of tempted to watch in reverse and see what I think. Just see how that compares. That's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know, Vicky, what you hated about it, actually. And then we've got a question here from Rachel. What was your favourite bad film growing up? I'm gonna have to mull that one over a little bit, because,
like, I guess maybe like the favorite film you went back and have watched and realized is bad.
Yeah, I think a lot of films, like, I don't know if I thought they were bad at the time, and I'm not even sure I see them as bad today because of my fondness for them as a child. Like, I think it depends on the age. As a teenager, I definitely was really into bad films, but when I was little, I think it was quite hard for me to dislike a film. I was just the Scooby-Doo live-action movies. They were... Oh, I love them, but they're so shit. They're brilliant. Oh, your boyfriend is a film nerd and also a director for TV. Okay, I think that would definitely. I'd love to hear the kind of discussions, Vicky, you have about film and TV, because that must be. You must get like different insights into things through that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scooby-Doo live-action movies for me, they were the ultimate bad ones. What about you, in terms of your? What was your favourite bad film?
I would say probably... Let me think. Because even there's like... I'm just trying to think really hard.
Well, while you're thinking, I'll just read Vicky's comment. So we always look at films with a critical lens. Yeah. What I hated most was that it was set in 1984 and the 80s references are limited and don't make sense, and just felt like a stylistic choice for the costumes that didn't pay off. Yeah, that's interesting, actually, because often I think if you're going to choose a time period to set a film in, even if you don't go for complete accuracy, capture the essence of the period as best you can, because you want people to feel like it is set in that period. So I'm going to have to watch it now, because... yeah, feel free to drop stuff like this in my film suggestions. So what conclusion are you coming to with your bad film?
I don't really have one, really, like, because I mean, like, there weren't really movies that I watched that way when I was a kid. And like, not Space Jam. Space Jam's not a good movie. Like, going back and watching it as an adult, it's not good. Like, it's pretty bad. But that's a hot take. I'm sorry if people can't handle it. But that would probably be the one that when I was a kid, I loved Space Jam so much. And
I've never seen that, actually, so I might...
It's a big long commercial. Like, the whole thing is a commercial, and it's directed by someone who directs commercials. Like, it literally is a commercial. It's bad.
Oh, okay. So, what do you think of Galaxy Quest? Is a question from
So
Vicky.
Good.
Galaxy Quest is in my top 10 films. I quote it regularly, and it's just amazing. Wait, Unidentified Squid, which film is getting a sequel? Oh no, Galaxy Quest is amazing. By Grabthar's hammer, you shall be avenged. Oh, Space Jam's getting a sequel. Oh, okay.
Space Jam is getting a sequel.
Okay.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
Galaxy
I know.
Quest
Who knows what
is
that's gonna be.
and I become really invested in Galaxy Quest and like the actors and what they've done, because I love Sigourney Weaver. Like, she's one of my favorite actors, and I didn't realize, but the main what are the aliens called in it again? The Thermians.
Yes.
So the one that's then listed as Jane Doe at the end, they just give her a name. I can't remember her actual name, but she plays Violet Beauregard's mother in
Missy Pyle.
Missy Pyle, that's it. Yeah, she plays Violet Beauregard's mother in the mid 2000s.
Rainn Wilson's also one of the aliens. This guy plays Dwight on.
There's lots of really good. I mean, aside from the main cast, which we know, there's good,
Tony
brilliant
Shalhoub.
actors there.
Ugh.
Yeah, there's loads of good people in that.
So many.
Also,
good people.
me and my dad constantly quote the whole pig lizard incident. Like, pig lizard has become like a phrase that we use in our like we just use all the time. I refer to stuff as pig lizards.
Movie. Sorry.
No, Carol. I was just saying that.
Did you know that?
You carry on. I'm getting really into this now.
Did you know that there's an that movie was originally R-rated? There's an R-rated cut of that movie.
Oh,
of
really?
Galaxy Quest.
But what?
Yeah,
Which?
Like,
I don't know because I don't know what version I would have seen, because obviously the UK has a different rating system. Like.
right.
And we.
Oh yeah.
The UK's a lot less. I think is a lot less prudish about what it allows stuff to be shown. Like,
Yes.
that's my perception
I think it's
anyway.
just the official. Yeah.
Is it to do? Is it the kissing? Is it the squid kissing scene with the tentacles? Is that the bit that's missing from it?
There's probably
That was
more
just
of
my
that
physical
apparently more
demonstration there.
violence.
Like, that's my inclusion
Yeah.
of tentacles.
There's apparently more violence and swearing and sex. Which I don't think would have made it a better movie. I think it's good the way it is. I want to see the R-rated version just out of curiosity. And you can even see there's a certain point like where they get to the doors like slamming like crazy and like opening and shutting, and Sigourney Weaver says like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" or something, and you can clearly see her mouth say, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yes, yes.
So-
I think
so
I've
there is
seen
a
the
lot of
version with the
swearing
I
they
think I may have seen the version with the swearing and the one without, actually, because I can't. Yeah, because both.
I don't even know if the R-rated one I don't think is available. Like, no one's
That's
seen it. Like,
interesting.
I've looked online. I've been
Oh.
trying to find like footage of what that would be. But
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
Or maybe I'm getting confused. I tell you why that I love Galaxy Quest, because I am a huge Trekkie. I have been a Trekkie since I was
Yes.
about 4 years old, because I grew up watching like Voyager and Next Generation with my dad, and so I went to a convention when I was 6, and so the opening scenes where they're at the convention, to me is just like,
Yes.
I just recognized it. And the bit that really got me was seeing all of the aliens lined up by the urinals with like all in full costume, and I have a really strong memory of seeing something really similar to that at the convention I went to, and like just the weirdness of being there, like, and just feeling a little bit like, what is this crazy world? Oh, thanks so much, Vicky. I'm really glad that you were here for this, and
Yes.
thanks so much. I'll speak to you soon. I'm sure we can chat about when I'm joining your final your fighting fantasy stream. Vicky does this amazing I can't remember the right term for it, but it's a bit like D&D, but like, that kind of, what are they called? My brain is in the sea.
The gutter.
It's much further up. Choose your own adventure. It's that kind of thing. It's great. Like, it's so much fun.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Vicky hosts these it's been every Saturday and for a while, and well, not every Saturday, but like regularly, and it's they're always amazing, and I highly recommend checking them out if you can, because Vicky's a great host.
Yes.
But yeah, speak to you soon, Vicky. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Bye, Vicky.
But yeah, so I'm Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest is the best parody film I think in terms of capturing the essence
made
of
with
bad
so much
films
love.
without
Yeah.
taking the piss in a kind of offense. Like it loves what it's mimicking. It's full of love. Yeah, for sure. It is now here 11:05, and so
Yes.
as I could honestly keep talking about this stuff for ages, but I think
Same.
I think we're gonna have to call it a night, and I'm definitely,
as I predicted, a rip-roaring
absolutely,
good time, my friend.
This has been brilliant.
Delight.
Well, if anyone else has any final questions, feel free to drop them in chat, and I'm sure we can definitely answer a few more. But I'm just having a look, trying to find someone to raid. Let's have a look and see who we can raid this evening. I don't know if you've got any suggestions. Maybe I should make this the guest suggestion. Do you?
Oh, let's take a peek.
Yeah, why don't you? Because that might be quite a nice thing to do. Thank you so much for being here as well, being the first guest on the show. Because it's always a bit nerve-wracking, you know, like knowing how these things are going to go. But actually, it's been an absolute blast.
My pleasure.
Oh, I'm really glad you had
so much
fun
for
with
asking me
yeah.
to do it.
No, thank you.
Yes, are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, definitely. RoyMartini will definitely be back for more movie chat, and hopefully we can do some games. I saw you playing Fall Guys. I have Fall Guys. I haven't played it in ages, and I'm willing to give it another shot. I know it's a bit of a fad game in terms of like it's come and gone for many people, but I like bright colours. I like bright colours, so maybe
it's going strong. I love Fall Guys. It's unfortunately there's no crossplay.
Oh, is there no crossplay? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to find. We'll find something that we can do.
We'll find something.
Yeah, we can.
I have Stardew Valley.
I don't, but I may well get it. So maybe that's where we can branch out into.
Okay. I have that on my computer, so we could probably do that. You know who we could raid? We could raid somebody else who's from the Twitch Sings.
Oh yeah.
Twitch Sings community. Do you oh shit, Zamoody.
Zamoody. Yes, I know Zamoody. Let's have a look. Are they on?
They're playing Stream Raiders right now.
Yes.
Also, Biru Popcorn is playing music.
Okay.
I would say either one of those. Your choice. Zamoody or Biru. Some music or some Stream Raiders.
Ooh, that's a tough choice. Let me have a look. Let's see if I can spell correctly. Let's see, and let's see who. Let's go with some tunes, maybe some music. Chill tunes Sunday. Oh, that sounds nice. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for the advert to finish at my end so that I can actually watch this. Right. Okay. So basically, I'm gonna put the raid command and in chat so you can see what we are going to be typing. So, and if you're a subscriber, then add on to the end of that a selection of my emotes. Avocado is obviously the standard. So let's go and raid Biru Popcorn. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. It's been great to have so many people here. Thank you to the amazing RoyMartini. I'll give you another shout out in chat.
My pleasure.
It's been so much fun. Now I will be announcing next week's guest. I'll be announcing tomorrow morning. So oh yeah, we can let's copy and paste that one. Let's use that one. So I'll be announcing tomorrow morning the next guest. I'm very excited about this person. So keep an eye out on my Discord, on my Twitter. It's gonna be great next Sunday, and it's gonna be every Sunday until the end of time itself. That's my intention. Right, let's give you a shout out there. Okay, right, so I'm gonna copy that, and then we're gonna go and raid. Let me spell this right. Okay, here we go. Right, it's processing. We watch the bar across the screen. Tomorrow evening, sort of early evening, I will be streaming 18th century Minecraft as usual. I'll be dressed in 18th century costume and constructing a city in the fashion of the late 18th century, as one does. So I will see you then. And thanks so much, everyone. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.